Hi Breezy, it's Monday, not Tuesday, but happy Tuesday. I was just gonna record the video now because I know I'm gonna be locked in studying tomorrow and I'm done with what I want to do for today. And I also really love this cardigan that I got for Christmas. And my zip up, I love it so much. How do I look? Okay, anyway, I had my peace sign necklace on earlier and earrings, but I've taken them off because I've been home for a while now. But I just want to do a little video. This video, you know, it's crazy because this is my last week of 1L classes. Like, this is my last week of class, and then next week starts finals. I have some review sessions next week, but they're not official classes, so this is literally my first year of law school nearly done. That's crazy. And while that is crazy, what I actually wanted to talk about in this video was one of your last videos, because confession, I was like a video behind. The April video, I hadn't watched it until like last week, and it was the one where you were talking about like DC Legends and superheroes in April and just so many things. And I was behind and I finally watched it. I felt so bad because it was such a good video. I loved it so much. It was just so quintessential breezy rambling. Like, if we're just rambling in bed and your snowflake lights are on, that aren't there anymore, but your snowflake lights are on and it's just cozy. And also, it gave us this gem. Look. Focus. Bro. That's pretty good. You still are really pale, I'm sorry. But you know what it looks like, because Loki, you were there. But, oh, April, it made me so happy. And, yeah, I love that video. But you kind of got talking for a little while, and you brought up Legends, and because you were talking about how those shows on the CW, the DC Arrowverse, like, was really good for its time and everything, and you were talking about how Legends was the weakest one, and like, I know you have your issues with Legends. Legends, when I was watching them, that was my favorite one. It was the one that I got the most into. I mean, probably because of Wentworth, but like, that first season is so fun. It's so silly, it's so fun. I was obsessed with it. I loved Sarah, obviously. I loved Captain Cold and Sarah as a couple. I thought that entire like season arc was so fun. I loved seeing Dominic and Wentworth play like flanderized versions of their Prison Break characters as like silly little superheroes. It was so fun. I really liked Ray. I thought he was just like so cutie pie. I can't remember the old man's name and his like their like whole like I can't remember their names, but I thought that was cool. Like, I don't know, I liked everything about, you know, like that first season. I thought it was so fun. And then even season 2 was fun. It was just when Sarah started dating her clone that I got really weirded out. It's far too Orwellian, it's far too Brave New World. It's just like, it's just, I don't like it. Like genetic I don't like it. And so yes, I do have that issue with Legends, but that issue was singular. Wasn't there like an attack of a giant Furby or something? Or whatever that was? So, but see, the thing is, like, I don't have an issue with that. It's so bizarre that it just, like, that was its appeal. Kind of like Glee. Like, it was just so ridiculous, and that was what you loved about it. That was the point. And so I just needed to make that statement, because I don't have issues with Legend. I have one issue, and it's just when Sarah started dating her clone, because that weirded me out real bad. Okay, I'm trying to think if there is anything else I wanted to reply to from that video. Obviously April, my baby. I love April. I should get Gansey. Hang on. Hi. Should I mimic? Ah, just like the April frame. Here he is. And his little leg. Anyway. You also talked about The Flash and how the musical episode you've probably watched more than anything. I know, Breezy. I know. I love it so much. It's just so cute, and I honestly, Super Friend, every single time I listen to that song, I feel so tickled. It just gets me every time. It's so cute. Like, it's just a perfect little song. And yeah, I'm trying to think. I feel like if I had gotten into Arrow like a year earlier in my prime Vampire Diaries times, that could have been my favorite one and really been it for me. But I was like, when I finally watched Arrow, I was kind of coming off of that, like, I don't know, I was kind of coming off of that like angsty, dark, enemies to lovers kind of feel, and so I just never, I don't know, I feel like I never got as pulled into it as I could have, but the potential was always there. It just didn't quite click. I don't know what it was. But like, I really love, I mean, I obviously, you know, there was like a whole Oliver and Felicity moment in my brain. I loved the, I never cared for Laurel. Hashtag speaking my truth. She's a lawyer though, right? Okay, enough with the dramatics. Yeah, I never really cared for her. And then there's The Flash, kind of excluding Supergirl because I never finished a full season of Supergirl. I started it and then I kind of continued watching it, but just watching for Alex? Is that her name? I can't remember, but you know who I mean, even if I'm wrong. But so like I would just like watch her scenes and stuff, but then eventually I don't know. That was like what I would do in my AP photography class junior year. I would be like, literally I would be learning Adobe After Effects and Adobe Photoshop for like a grade, and then I would have on my phone like Supergirl, and I would be like skipping her scenes. And it was like that or Lucifer, because seriously, we would just get like assigned stuff and you just had to do computer work for the hour or do an Adobe lesson or a Photoshop lesson. And I didn't have Spotify Premium yet, and so I never just put on music pretty much at that time yet. And so I would just like pop on because that was when season 3 of Lucifer was airing, and so that was a long season. So there was a new episode like forever for like 20 something weeks, and so I mean that's a lot of different classes. So I just pop it up against the, yeah, and just watch while I did my little, honestly, what a time. That was crazy. And the way I was like one of the only people in that entire class to actually get Photoshop certified too. Like, what were y'all doing during that time? I mean, obviously I had been practicing on After Effects for a few years at that point, or not even a few years. Literally just that year. Literally just within that year. Because before that I didn't have a laptop that would support Adobe. So I really didn't have that much of a head start, so I don't know what everyone else was doing during that class time. I was watching TV and doing my work, and I still got certified. So what now? God, was that? That was like the beginning of 2018. Yeah, because it was before our first Aruba trip. That's crazy. That's crazy. Remember Aruba? Wasn't there a whole thing in Legends of Tomorrow when, like, Dominic went to Aruba? Also, can you believe that Dominic Purcell is, like, married to Miley Cyrus's mom? Every time I remember that, I feel like I just learned this information for the first time at this point. Like, I know, but every time I remember or I'm reminded, like on Instagram, it feels like brand new information to me every single time. What else? No, I'm just kind of going on tangents. Maybe I should title this Follow the Plot, like you always do. I don't know. What else? I'm trying to think. was just kind of rambling, and I felt bad I didn't watch that video because I really loved it so much, and I was like, I want to reply, but now I can't think of all my replies because I watched it a week ago. Oh, I was just going through DC shows though. Arrow, I feel like it could have, but it didn't. Supergirl, then The Flash. Like fully The Flash, not just a musical episode. Honestly, I feel like The Flash was probably the best one. I can't even lie. Because I feel like Oliver just became so... Because that's what you were talking about too. You were like, yes, is this an accurate depiction? Yes, is this, yes. But still, it was good. And yeah. But I feel like... I don't know. I feel like they just never really quite knew what to do with Ollie. He was just such a tortured soul that they just never... I don't feel like they ever found a good writing balance with him. Maybe that's why. Because I was used to like Damon, and Oliver was just not quite... He wasn't quite as written into that, I don't know. Honestly, Oliver's life story, and this is not going to make any sense to you because you haven't watched Gossip Girl, and it's also not going to make any sense to you because this just doesn't make any sense. But Oliver's life story kind of reminds me of Dan from Gossip Girl. Like, they're absolutely nothing alike. They have none of the same life experiences. But, I don't know. You watch Arrow and it's like, oh, poor Oliver. Like, he has all this bad stuff happen to him, but then it's like, he still has his family. He still has his house. He still has his money. They couldn't put a Christmas tree. I remember that. That was real. Oh my god, remember when we watched the Arrow Christmas episode? Wait, but they like weren't, there wasn't a thing, there like weren't enough Christmas trees. They didn't have a Christmas tree in every room. Like, not to reduce his struggles and to reduce Gansey and that goddamn garden's struggles, because believe me, I know. But like, I don't know, like, you're just watching and you're like, I don't know, like, looking back, I can't remember what his deal was. What was Oliver's problem? Like, I remember him being on that island and, like, you know, League of Assassins, like, ah, it goes all crazy, but genuinely, what was his problem? Why did he have such deeply rooted issues? I mean, because at the end of the day, like, I don't know, him and Thea were kind of chilling. Like, they weren't. I remember the fact that they weren't, but I also can't remember why they were, and so it just doesn't feel significant enough. And where Dan comes into this is because, like, I don't know, you watch Gossip Girl and everyone's like, oh my god, he's so poor, loser, like, he's so poor, but then at the same time it's like, he's living in $1 million loft, he's going to the nicest private school in the city, he's dating Blake Lively. Like, I don't know, like, I like, oh my god, his life's so hard. Ugh. But really, what has he been through? You know, and so, like, I know those are not the same, like, private school boy versus, like, the trauma of Oliver Queen that I know was very real and happened. But somehow they just, like, in retrospect, when I think about it, they just feel the same. I'm just kind of like, what was your problem? You know? That doesn't make any sense, but just like, I just like trust, like, you know, like, speaking of following the plot, you know, speaking on living, it just kind of like, it just makes sense. Yeah, so like, feel free to reply and tell me what Oliver's problem was, because I feel like I know he had bad problems, and I know he was like, I know that whole thing, and then he came back, and then there's like death and da-da-da. But at the same time, it was just like, I don't know, man. I just kind of felt like, what was his problem? I don't know. So, did you expect me to talk about the Arrowverse for 15 minutes? That's kind of crazy. I did not expect that. But here we are. I think you Snapchatted me. Let's see what you said. Oh, no, you didn't. You just liked my message. What was my message? Oh, I sent you a Spider-Man photo booth. Nice. What else is there to say? I don't know. I'm very excited for this new Olivia Rodrigo album. I love her new song so much. What else is going on? That's like, it's like the best song ever. It's so good. Um, Here's my hat from Nicole. I have it readily available at all times. I'm really happy and excited for it to be summer. That way I can just wear this to like farmers markets every day and stuff. It's so cute. Like, it's seriously my favorite hat that I've ever even dreamed of existing. Also, right now, just so you know, you're sitting on top of my Lightning McQueen lunchbox, and inside my Lightning McQueen lunchbox is where I keep all of my cards and envelopes. It's like, I don't know, it feels like a secret trapdoor. Inside of Lightning McQueen's hood, you get letters, you get envelopes. It's very exciting. I ordered some stickers. I'm very excited. They're like ocean stickers. I'm excited. I needed like another small thing for my Amazon order to get free shipping. And so I was like, what's something really tiny I can get? Stickers. And so I did, and I'm very excited. They're gonna go on my desk. They're gonna go everywhere. I'm so excited. I love stickers. I love stickers so much. I think when is St. Mark's Eve? Because when I got that Raven Cycle graphic novel, I was like, maybe I should just read it on St. Mark's Eve. But then I never did. Because it hasn't happened yet. It's on April 24th, on Friday. Maybe I'll spend my Friday night reading the Raven Cycle graphic novel for St. Mark's Eve. Don't worry, I'll do it myself. Loser. I know. But it sounds fun, no? Okay, video kind of coming to a close. Let's see. Interesting. So, like, now that we've talked about all of the important things, like the Arrowverse and Oliver's problems and everything, dude, low-key, chronic pain is crazy because, like, my hip will be hurting so bad, and the chairs and the way everything is situated, there's, like, how do I explain this? Like, if you're sitting down, the desk is, like, here, right? And then on the back side of the desk, like, where your feet would go, is a panel that, like, basically goes down to the floor. So you can't even extend your legs straight because there's something like a wall on the back side of the desk blocking. And so because of that, I like cross my leg over. Well, I like cross my leg over because of my hip. But then I can't do this for long periods of time because then my knee ends up getting bent and it aggravates my Osgood-Schlatter's, my old growth plate issue. And it doesn't hurt unless I like sit with my knees bent with my knee bent for an extended period of time. It doesn't hurt. Then there's not really a lot of positions because like you have to you can't straighten your leg in front of you, and so like, and if I cross my left leg and I keep my right leg straight, then I'm like putting pressure on my knee, and I notice that hurts too. And so I've started like kind of sitting like more crisscrossy ways, even though that bends my knee. I don't know, it like still alleviates my hip. But then lately my left ankle has been hurting so bad, and I'm like, I know for a fact I did not roll my ankle or anything. Because I remember every single time I've done something weird to my ankle. And also I have that like extra bone in my left ankle, so it's like, whatever. But I think the way like I've kind of been sitting on it, like putting it under my thigh or whatever, to like, I'll like put my right leg out like this way or whatever, and then like sit on my ankle. I think I've aggravated my ankle again. And so now I feel like all of my main injuries that I have ever had are like, it's like my hip was hurting, and so to accommodate for that, I started sitting weird because of my knee. But then to straighten my knee, because now my knee hurts, I'm sitting on my ankle, and now my ankle hurts. So fun. So fun. But I ended up getting for some reason, every single time I'm like, oh my god, I need to find my ankle brace. I feel like I can never find it, because it's never just found a home in this house. But then yesterday I found where it was and I got it down. And so I might start wearing that again for like when I go on walks and stuff, just because it feels weak. And also I'm not skating anymore just because it's been, you know, winter. I can't skate on ice. And I genuinely think skating has done so much strength training for my ankle, just because it forces you to have support and see, okay, it's about to run out and I don't want to have to cut anything. So I'll see you on Friday, Breezy. I love you so much.